Hi everyone, today we have a very nice lecture about HTML5 canvas, and this is just a way for you to draw shapes and stuff on inside your HTML page. So I hope that the demos that I have will be good enough, but we'll see as we go. So yeah, in the content, what is canvas, how to include it in your HTML, commands in canvas, we'll look through those online very briefly. Then we will draw the basic shapes with canvas, see how it works and so on. And after that we'll make an animation with canvas. With canvas, I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so let's get started. So what is canvas? Canvas is the way to draw in your browser. It uses JavaScript for the drawing with relatively high performance, so it doesn't really give you that much load in terms of RAM, graphics card, processor, and so on. It works really well and quite efficient. Canvas is part of HTML5 and it's supported by most browsers. So if you have like a really old browser on Windows 98 or XP, then it's probably not going to work. You can think of it as a rectangular sheet, like a canvas. That's where it comes from. Inside your HTML, all drawings are performed inside the sheet. Also, you can think of this as just a div element, div tag inside your HTML, which has width and height, and you're only allowed to draw inside this canvas. So how to include it in your HTML? So a couple of things, more like three things that you have to do. First, you have to include it with the canvas tag, give it the width and height inside. These are pretty small. We normally want to do something bigger. Also, after that, you have to select the canvas with JavaScript. This is something that we haven't done, but this line is pretty easy to see. So var canvas equals document.get element by ID, and this is the ID that I have up here. And this is this way we'll have access to the 2D tag. After that, we have to say var context equals canvas.get context, and the context is what actually allows us to draw things inside inside our canvas element. Okay, so the context can be 2D, 3D, or WebGL. So 3D, do not use that ever. It's not supported, I think, pretty much only in Chrome and Firefox, and apart from that, probably anywhere else. If you want to do 3D graphics, then probably use WebGL. And this is really cool. WebGL, it's relatively new. I think it's still under some development, but it's relatively done. And WebGL also allows access to your graphics card. So this way you can make some very complicated animations and games inside your browser, like the Quake, which I don't remember if I showed you last time. So actually, this time I'm gonna make an account and I'm gonna show it. So just give me a second. I know I promised to show you Quake, but yeah, it wanted me to install .NET 3.5 and restart the PC, which is not gonna happen now. So I've chosen another game. I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I move with this? Okay, maybe play. Yeah, anyway, so you see that this is 3D graphics, heavy designs, shaders, lighting, and so on. And it looks really good, and it runs very smoothly. And if we press number 12, which does the same thing as the mouse, and the space, and any other button on the screen, which is really weird. Here we see the canvas right here, and probably somewhere down here we'll see WebGL. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, somewhere around here, somewhere in the script or some of the loaded scripts, we should be able to see that it's doing it through WebGL. Otherwise, we won't be able to play it or to see it at all. So yeah, pretty cool things. Right. So yeah, let me close it so that. Right. Okay. So commands in Canvas, and I am gonna click here. And for some reason it did open Edge. I don't know why. So yeah, once we have the canvas and once we have the context with get context 2D, and today we will only be talking about 2D and WebGL. I don't know when are we gonna be using it, if ever, because you know there it's a bit more complicated. You have to know C++ and so on. It's a bit more complicated, but if you want to do 2D animations and games, then Canvas is pretty, you know, easy and nice in general. Alright, so color, styles, and shadows. Let me zoom in. Okay, so these are properties that we can give to some of the shapes that we are drawing, or lines that we're drawing. So fill style means that if we have a closed shape, then we can set the color. It can be gradient, it can be a pattern, whatever you want. Okay, stroke style is the border. So you can give you can give a style for the border, which means, you know, again, color, which can be a gradient, a pattern, and so on. These are for shadows, so nothing interesting here. You can give shadow color, blur, offset, and so on. These are ways to create gradients and patterns and so on. Did I click here? I didn't want to click here. Let it just load. Yeah, so this is a way to create, you know, gradients, patterns, and so on. Line styles is what we're interested in. I'll actually show line cap, which sort of returns a smooth edge when you connect lines. Rectangles are, you know, relatively simple. If you want to make a rectangle, you normally don't use the first one. You use fill rect, stroke rect, and then if you want to clear some part of your canvas, then you use clear rect. Paths are a bit weird at first, but I'm sure that once I give you the demos, you will be fine. So most of the things in Canvas that you can draw are paths in some way or another. So the only two things that you are given is a rectangle, and after that you have paths and nothing else. That's it. So if you want to draw a triangle, you want to say I want to have a dot here, I want to move it up, I want to move it down, and then get back here, and this is going to be your triangle. If you want to create some more complicated shapes, you can do that as well. If you want to make a curved shape, something like this is also done with the paths. So most of the important things are here. So every path starts with begin path and then close path, which is probably somewhere there. So starts with begin path and then ends with close path. If you wanna draw it, you have to say stroke before you close the path. And fill, if you wanna fill, if the triangle that I've just drawn, if you wanna fill it, you have to say fill. Again, at the end before close path, so somewhere around here, and it's gonna fill it for you. How do we actually draw? So you say move to, which is gonna move the cursor, if you think, to a certain point, and then you can say line to, which is gonna draw the line from somewhere else. If I use line to straight away, it's gonna assume that the last point that we've drawn something is here, and it's gonna draw it to somewhere else. So this one is like move to. This one is gonna be line to, and this one is gonna be line to as well. If I want to break the shape and say that I want to draw something somewhere else, say down here, I have to use move to again from here to here, but it's not going to draw anything, and then I can just make another line here, and I have to say line 2. We are going to see how this is working, but it's nothing that complicated. So okay, quadratic curve 2, this is used to draw a simple curve. Quadratic. Bezier curve 2 is similar, but you can do something like this as well. Also we have arcs. So arc, you know, you can do it just like a circle. But you can also do ellipses, but I don't know where. Probably ellipses are done. I think the ellipses are done if you have a circle and you want to make an ellipse, you scale it either through X and Y. So if I scale it, if I give it scale X2, this is gonna make an ellipse, which is gonna look like this. It's like well, it's just scaling it. So speaking of scaling, this is it. Scaling, you can rotate, translate, transform, and so on. You can do text. You also have images. You can insert videos if you want to. Just a lot of things that that you can that you can use with this canvas, and it's still relatively simple. But you can make really cool things with it, as we'll see with probably with the last demo. Let me see if I'm. Yeah. Okay. Right, is it sort of clear what we are doing? We have a canvas and we have some functions that we can draw with. That's pretty much the base of this slide. Let me close this up. Okay, drawing shapes with canvas. So this is the bigger demo, and I'll show you all of the important and most common things that you see in the canvas. So let's open up WebStorm, our IDE of preference. Wait for it to load. Please load faster. Come on. And please load even faster. File, new project, and we are gonna call it canvas. Canvas or canvas demos, maybe canvas demos. Create this window, and we are good to go. So let's create an HTML element. We are gonna call this canvas or just drawing shapes. Let me zoom in, and here will be everything that we wanna be doing. So I won't be creating JS files and so on. Everything is going to be done here. So let's first do this here. So demo canvas or just drawing shapes demo. Okay, inside the body, actually first, inside the body I have to create my canvas element, and it has to have an ID so that I can select it afterwards. So this is going to be something like the canvas. Then we have width, which I've selected to be 800. We have height, which is 600. Alright, so let's do style so that we can see it, probably inside here. So style, and let's say canvas. I want to say border 1 pixel solid black. Okay, so let's run this now. Let's see what we get. This is the canvas. This is what we get. Okay, I can also position it in the middle, but I think right now it's fine as is. Okay, so inside here we will be able to draw, and everything that we draw is going to be inside here. So okay, so let's do what one of the previous slides said. So I need to select it, and then after that I can start drawing my shape. So this has to happen in a script tag, because any operation that you do is done through JavaScript. So I have to say var canvas equals document dot get element by ID, and inside here I have to say the ID that I have up here, which is the canvas. Okay, so once we have the element canvas, I want to give it a context, which is going to be what allows me to actually draw. So I would like to say var context equals canvas dot get, what was it? Get context. Yep. and we want to say that we want it 2D. And please notice that if in here you put 2D with a capital D, it's not going to work. So just 2D this way. If you want to, you can put WebGeo and see what you get there. But right now we will just be doing some simple shapes with 2D. All right, so let's get started. How easy it is to draw a rectangle. So context dot fill rect. And here we have to give it an X and Y, so like a top left corner. So let me just, so this is the canvas. I have to give it an X and Y, which is the point from which we are gonna start, and then I have to give it a width and a height. Just a second. So yeah, we have this, and this is the top left for the point X and Y, and after that I want to give it width and height. So relatively simple. So let's create one. So it's going to be 20, 20, 160, 60 I said. Now that should be fine. Fill rect with the capital R. Now it's fine. Okay, so let's see what we get. F5, and this is our rectangle. I am going to zoom a bit so that we can see the whole thing. As you can see, by default it's drawn in black, and we want to change that. So up here I would like to say context dot fill style equals, and a couple of ways that you can give a color. I'll use the hashtag to do that. So inside here I have ff0 ff0, and let's see what color that is. Nice purple. Or was it this the default? So what's gonna happen if I give ff0000? Now it's red. Fair enough. What color do you want to get? So maybe like a purple. Yeah, still the same. All right. But as you can see, there are no borders anywhere. Why can I not zoom? Yeah. So we have no borders, and you can do that as well. So if I want to have another, so context. Actually, no. Sorry. I can say context dot stroke style equals black. I can give a color this way, and let's see if this is going to change anything. Actually, no. What I have to do is I have to create another rectangle which has the same width and height, and I have to create it with stroke rect. So this is going to be 20, 20, 160, and yeah, that should probably be fine now. Yeah, now you can see inside here that we have some borders. What else do we want to do? Yeah, what's gonna happen if I just create context dot stroke rect, and I create it with the following parameters. Let me just get those: 200, 20, 160. So a bit further to the right. So F5. See that it's just going to be transparent. Depending on what the background color is, it's going to draw it with that same color. So how do I come up with these numbers here? So this is the X, Y, and then width, and then height, and with height. And as with most game engines, and even the console in C#, the top left corner here is going to be 0, 0, and our first rectangle was drawn at 2020, so we expect the top left corner of our rectangle to be at 2020, which is exactly this distance here. If I want to move it slightly down, I have to increase this value. If you see now, it's going to move slightly down, and if I want to move it left or right, I just have to change the X. So if I want to draw it at say 0, 0, it's going to be at the very top left corner of my canvas. But let's remove it as it was. It was a 2020. Anything else that I wanted to show here? Probably not. Okay, so this is the simplest way that you can, start drawing. Just create a rectangle. So I'll put it up here. So rectangles, and we are gonna go to paths. Are there any questions? By the way, no one is saying anything. Any questions about this? It looks relatively simple. I mean, even the methods are well named. So fill rect is gonna give you a rectangle which is filled. Stroke rect is gonna give you a rectangle which is just stroked on the border. All right, so paths. Let's give another fill style now. I just want to do something else. So context dot fill style equals, and let's give it a color in another way. So I can also give a color with RGB. So I can give RGBA, which is with an alpha channel. I can also give HSL and HSLA. And to be honest, I really have no idea how these are working. Maybe someone could help me there. But normally, I either do it with the hashtag or just with RGB, depending on what I have. And you can also give gradient, which we are gonna do probably in a bit. But right now, I want to say RGBA, and let's say so we want the red to be 20. Then we want the green to be 150, 120, and the alpha to be 0.7, so that it's slightly transparent. All right. So what else? We want to say we want to make a gradient for the stroke. We'll see how that is going to look like. But if we want to create a gradient. It's not going to work with the regular CSS way. We have to create it through Canvas. So we are going to say var gradient equals context dot create linear gradient, and inside here we give 0, 0, 170, and 0. And I really have no idea what these numbers mean, so I should probably check it. So canvas create gradient. So what are the values that we give? The x coordinate of the starting point, the y coordinate of the start point, then xy, the coordinate of the end point, and the coordinate of the y of the end point. Okay. So right, and we actually have to give it some color stops and some colors as well. So we have to say gradient dot add color stop at 0. At 0, we want to give it color which is say red, and I want to add a couple of more like this. So 0.5, you want to give it purple, and at 1. We want to give it blue. So the gradient, if you imagine it as a straight line, the first half is going to be sort of red. It's going to go gradually to purple. Actually, no. So let me just draw that again. So this very left is going to be pure red. The one in the middle is going to be purple. And the one at the very end is going to be blue in this case, and it's going to be gradually going from one to the other. If you want to, you can create more color stops. So something like 0.33 should be purple. I can do gradient dot add color stop at 0.66. I can say this to be, I don't know, orange. And then in the end is going to be just other one is going to be blue. Okay, we are going to be using this for the stroke. So I have to say just context dot stroke style equals gradient, and we are done. So this is just the preparation for what we are going to be drawing with the line. Okay, so let's start drawing. Actually, a couple of more things that I want to do, but I'll do them after that. So context dot begin path. Always, when you start a new path, you always have to say begin path, and it has to end at context dot close path. Okay, and inside here, let's make a simple triangle. So context dot move to, and we have to say the first dot, the first point at which we are going to start our triangle. So inside here, I'll say just triangle. So move to, and I want to say that that's going to be 2200. And after that, if I say context dot line to, I want to say where do I want this to go. So let's put it at 200 100. I think, is that correct? Yeah. Context dot line to, and then I want to say 200. 2200. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, why isn't anything drawn? Any ideas? Yeah, this is X and Y. So 22 200 should be somewhere around here. I think it works this way. The problem here is that I'm not saying anything anywhere context dot fill, and I'm not saying anything anywhere context dot stroke. And now so if you ever get this, if you've drawn your shape and if you've made all the calculations and so on, but it's not drawn, is because you don't have these two. And now if it's not drawn, it's going to be quite funny. So yeah, we have this. So we have move to, then we have line to here, and then we have another line to, which is again at the beginning. So I'm missing some points. So I'm missing, let's see, what am I missing? So context dot line to, and I want to say maybe 200 and then 200, and let's see if that's gonna do it. Okay, we have a rectangle. You see the gradient here, which is fine, and we see the color that we've chosen, which is just some random color that I've chosen. So let's play with this a bit. Let's say here instead of 0.7, let's say 0.1, so that you can see some difference. 0.1 is probably too low, maybe 0.4. And now you're able to see the alpha there. If I give it 1, which is going to be the full color that I've chosen, is this one, and as soon as I change the alpha, it's going to be slightly different. All right, but this stroke is not very easy to see. So I would like to make it slightly bigger. So inside here, I would like to say context dot line width equals, let's say, 5. And now it's a bit bigger, and now you see here the red. So this is the red. Somewhere around here is the purple. Somewhere around here is the orange, and somewhere around here is the actually right here is the blue. So it works pretty much as is. I could have given the same thing for the fill style, and it was gonna work the same way. It was gonna look the same way. So let me just copy that over here just for a second so that I can show you. Actually, I've not created it yet, so let me put it down. Maybe down here. Right, and let's see. You see now that the full triangle is now with the color stops that we gave it. All right. Let me put it the way it was. So what did I have? I had RGB something. Yeah. Okay. So another thing that I wanted to show is the line cap. So I can say context dot line cap equals round. And so that you're able to see the difference, I'll just remove this point here, and let's see first what we have. So we have this line, and you see that the end edges here are kind of, rectangular. If you want to change them to be more round, this is how you do it with the line cap. So I have to say line cap equals round. Nothing happens. Let me check if I'm doing something wrong. So line cap should be round. Oh yeah, I think you can see it here at the beginning, right? And if let me just remove this as well. Nope. You can just see it here. Actually, let me put it a bit more. So maybe like 20. Is that gonna be fine? Yeah, you see here it's now round. I have no idea why is this doing it for up here. Maybe because I have line to the back as well. Okay, now we have it. Now it's done. Because I was doing it with the triangle, a couple of lines, and it just does it at the very end points. So now if I uncomment this, we should be able to see that it's only for the end points here and here, and not for the ones in the middle, such as this one in the triangle. All right, let's put it the way it was. So it was this way, and I'll just comment this, but you will know that it's there, and you can use it. Okay, so what's gonna happen if I actually don't close the path? I think we saw it just a second ago. So let me just first do it this way. It just closes. What has happened? Oh yeah, because this is too big. Let's put it at 5. Do you have any? Is there any? No, it's fine. Okay, so you see how this line is drawn now. Actually, if I remove this line, I'm getting a bit confused. Just a second. So now it's drawn, and if I remove the close path, it's still there. Interesting. Let me try to fix this. So if I don't give the end point, if I only have 2 lines, so I have give me the triangle, draw a point here, then draw a line here, draw a line here. And what I wanted to say is, without having to get back to the beginning, I would like to close the path and then do it. So I should probably move those 2 down here. Yeah, so now if I don't have the close path, it's not going to be closed. I mean, you will not be able to see this. And now if I uncomment this, hopefully you are going to get the result, which is going to be, it's still going to be drawn. So I don't have to return to my original position if I want to every time. I can just say close path, and it will be fine. And after that, of course, we can fill in stroke it. All right. So any other questions here? Anyone asking something at all? All right. I say we have a short break, or it's too early. It's too early. So let's do one more path, and let's see what I have here. I don't remember that much. So context.begin path. We'll just do another, simple path. This is gonna be context.move to 220, 100, and context.line to 220. 200. I want to say context.stroke, and then context.close path. All right. So what this is going to do is just going to draw a simple line around here. But I would like to point out that it keeps the original or the very last stroke style that I have, even though I've said close path. So this does not reset either the fill style or the stroke style. So if I want to do something different here, I have to say context dot stroke style, and maybe make it, I don't know, black. Okay, also, what's gonna happen if I don't have this move to? If I just remove it there for a second, what do you think is gonna happen? So clearly the line is not gonna be moving. So how do I draw this? It's not gonna start from here, right? Because you know this is the first point. This is 220 100, and I just tell it to move 100 pixels down to 220, and then 200. I think that one is. We won't see it. We are actually gonna see it, but it's gonna be drawn from some other place. Sorry. So suggestion is from 0 0, and the other one was, which I think was correct, from the last point that we've actually drawn, which we expect to be this one from our triangle. So let's F5. Actually, we don't have it, which is relatively weird. Context.line to stroke should be done after close path. Nope, it doesn't work this way. That's very weird. Yeah, this way you can see, but the whole stroke style is the same, because I'm saying stroke right down here. So what happened now is that the last point that we went to was up here, and I wanted to move it somewhere around here, and this is what it did. But every time when you say begin path, it actually resets, and you have to say move to, so that you're able to draw it from from a new place. If you don't say begin path, it's just gonna continue from where it last stopped, which was right around here. All right. What else do we have? Okay, so let's draw some arcs. So arcs are, in their essence, the same as path, but someone like if you want to draw an arc just with move to and line to, you can do it with JavaScript, but someone was nice enough to do it for you. So we have some methods which are which we are gonna see in a second. So let's first say context.beginPath, and also I want to say context.fillStyle. And here I have some nice colors that I've chosen before. So fill style equals RGBA, and the first one is 240, 126, 42, and alpha of 0.4. I also want to say context.stroke style to be the same as the one above, but without the alpha. So I'm just going to copy all of that inside here, and remove the A so that there isn't an alpha channel, and leave it like that. Okay, so let's draw an arc. So this is going to be context.arc, and unfortunately, oh yeah, there it is. So control zoom. So we have the X and Y, which is the position. We have radius, we have start angle and end angle. We have a boolean, which is optional, which is anti-clockwise. So where should you draw it? So it's like you give the position of the radius. You give the radius, say, like 50 pixels, so somewhere around there, 50 pixels. And we say start angle and then an end angle. So if I say something like 0 to 90 degrees, it's going to do it from here up to here. And this is what we are going to get. So yeah, let's do one. And let's see how we can make a full circle first, and then we'll do just arcs. So the position is 100, 300, radius is 80, and we want to draw it from 0 to inside here. If I say 360, that's not going to work, because we give the we give it in radians. We give the angle in radians. If you want to convert from one to the other, you have to divide by 180, I think, and multiply by the angle. I'm not sure. It was something like that. But anyways, we are going to be working with radians, and inside here I'll just put a comment, math.py equals 180 degrees, and we'll convert using this formula. So if you want to get 360 degrees, what would you put in here? So from 0 to 2 times math.pi, and I think that's it. Yeah, so let's close it up. Let's say, actually not there, let's say context.fill, context.stroke, and after that we want to say context.closePath. Right, let's see what's going to happen. This is the circle that we have, which is a full one. All right, so let's create a couple of more, which are just which are not going to be like full, but just you know, cut out, and we'll see how it cuts it out. So let's copy all of that. I don't want to repeat that whole thing, so I just want to change the color, which is going to be 112, 190, then 98. I want to copy all of that. I'm sorry, I want to copy the one above. And just change up the position a little bit. So this is going to be 265. This is going to be 300. Still, radius is 80. And let's draw it from 0 to 1.2 math.pi. So it's not going to be like a full circle, but we should be expecting something. So from 0, this is going to be pi, and we should be expecting to draw it somewhere up here. And this thing is going to be just cut off. It's not going to be there. So let's see. Yeah, exactly as I said. So my center is somewhere around here, I think. I can't really do it. So somewhere around here. This is the 0. And we move around. This is going to be 90. This is going to be 180 degrees. And then we have a little bit more because, you know, 1.2 times that times pi in degrees will be something like 200 and something degrees. So a bit more than half a circle. All right, I want to do the same thing, but instead of drawing it, this is clockwise. I want to do it counterclockwise, which is just going to add, you know, a single argument to my arc. So inside here, I just want to change up the colors a little bit so that it looks a little bit better. So we have inside here 45, 185, and 208. And instead of doing it, yeah, I need to change that a little bit. So how do I do it? I add 165. So this has to be 430, I think. Yes. And inside here, so this parameter, which is optional, says, let me zoom in, maybe. Please, control space. No. How did this come up? Yeah. So zoom in. So this is optional, and by default is set to false. So if I want to change it the other way, I have to say equals to true. And let's press F5, and this is what we get, which is the other part of the circle. So it's like drawn pretty much the same way, but from the center, here is 0, and it draws it to the same space, but you know, just in the other direction, which is anti-clockwise. All right, so some of you may be asking, okay, so this is fine, but how do I draw like a wedge? So something like this, and my drawing skills are perfect. So just like a part of a circle. Can I draw circles inside this? I don't know. So like a circle. Imagine that this is a circle, and I just want to draw like a sector of it. Okay, a couple of ways that we can do that, but I think the easiest one will be as follows. So let me copy all of that, paste it again. So here I am gonna say like a pizza maybe, because that's what we are gonna be doing. So let me change this up a bit as well. So 104, make it a bit more colorful. 104, 66, 147, and just copy that whole thing down there. Okay, change up the coordinates a bit, so this is going to be now 595, and I've changed those as well. So from 0 to math.pi divided by 2. So this says from 0 to 90 degrees. And now if I print this now from 0 to 90, but I still have the true, so I want to remove that. And this is what we get. But I don't want to get this. I wanna be able to make it, you know, go to the radius and draw my wedge. So how do you propose this is gonna happen? I have close path. It's there. We want to have another line to the, not the radius, but to the center of the circle. So what's gonna happen now is that I have, you know, say the canvas behind the scenes makes a point here and tells it, you know, draw everything up to here. So this is going to be the last point of drawing, and everything that I want to say is just, well, we know now I want you to move, after you've drawn the arc, I want you to move to the center of my circle, and this is what we are going to be doing. So we can say line 2, probably not there, context.line 2, 595 300, which is the center of my radius from up there. Close up this one, and this is what we get. So why is this now? Why do I not have my stroke from the top? Because I close the path before I stroke, so I have to move these down here. And now we are pretty much done. So please remember to use this close path, because if you have a similar wedge but not so, you know, not so clear, so here we are using 0 and 90. Imagine that this was up to some angle which is like 60 or like 47 degrees. You would have to know where you're sorry, so no, it was the other way around. So let me just draw it again. So let's say that we are here up to some angle and here up to some angle, and this is my wedge. So this is like what is that? This is like a 350 degrees, and this is like I don't know, 47, and so on. So it will be easy to, you know, say, well, yeah, draw my arc from here to here. That's going to be, so let me just do that in green or in blue. It's going to be easy, well, you know, make my arc from here to here. It will be easy to say, well, go back to my radius, to my center. But what is this point now? You don't know. And you have to do some complicated mathematical stuff with sines and cosines, maybe arc sines, to be able to find this point, where in fact if you just say, well, we know close path, then it's going to find it on its own. Yeah, do you understand why this is hard? You have to use something like a sine of the angle, if this is alpha, and this way you will be able to know in which angle to move this point and how much it's going to be the radius and so on. It's really not that simple. I'm sure you can make the calculation, or, you know, look it up online, but yeah, it's a lot easier to just say close path. It's gonna find it automatically because it started from there. And the next thing is curves, but I say that we have a short break before we get into the curves. Okay, so those were some demos that we had, but they are unrelated to the canvas. All right, so next up we would like to create some curves, and the first one that we are gonna create is a quadratic curve. So the way it sort of works is we give 1 point, we give a second point, and imagine that this is a line between these two, and what we want to do is we want to give a third point which is gonna bend this line. So this is gonna be my control point up here, and in the end my curve is gonna look something like this. All right, it's not gonna go all the way to the top. So this is my this is my point here. It's not gonna go all the way to the top, but it sort of like pulls it up, and this is what we'll do. So let's have a look. So first up, we have to say context.beginPath. After that, we want to say, let's say context.strokeStyle equals black. And we want to say context.move2. So this is going to be our first point that we'll have. It's going to be at 20 and 560 height. And then we want to say context.quadratic curve 2. Okay, and here I have to give 2 points. One of them is going to be my control point. So we already have this move 2, and now I have to give my pooling point, and then I have to give my final point here. So quadratic curve 2, and inside here I want to say 110, 300, and also 200, 560. Maybe this should be something like 220, I don't know. All right, so what is it that we're doing? So the first one is somewhere down here. The control point is slightly further to the right, so somewhere around here, and the height is a bit lower, so it will be somewhere up here. And then I want to say that my final point is going to be further to the right, so somewhere around here, and the height is going to be the same as the height of my original point. And of course I have to say context.stroke, and after that I have to say context.closePath. So let's go in here, and this is it. I have no idea why it's slightly bent. Maybe this 200 here was correct that I put it first. Sort of. So here I give plus 90, and here if I give plus 90 as well, that should work, but I think because the stroke is a bit too thick, maybe that's why it looks slightly bent to the other side. So always when you have to make quadratic curves or Bezier curves, which we are going to do in a second, you should always fiddle around with values. It's never a precise calculation, in my opinion, especially for the Bezier curve that we are going to be doing now. So let me just copy that because it's going to be relatively similar. So here, begin path, so this is going to be curves quadratic. This is going to be curves Bezier. Okay, so the idea here is similar, but instead of having one control point, we actually have two. So again, we have this line. I have one control point, which let's say that it's here. It's gonna move it up, and then I have another one here which is gonna move it down, and in the end my curve is gonna look something like this. In the example that I have, it was probably the other way around, but I'm not sure, so let's have a look. All right, so we have moved to 220, 560, so a bit further to the right from what I currently have. And then we want to say Bezier curve 2, Bezier curve 2. And here we need to give more points. So let's do that. So 300, 300, so slightly to the right and up. Also we have 420, 800. Now this is pulling down. So this one, the first one is slightly, if this is my original point, the first one is slightly to the right and up. The next one is slightly to the right and more down. And then I have to give my final point, which is going to be, let me check, 530, 450. Right, so let's see what we get. So we get something like this, and I can pull it slightly less, so that we see what's gonna happen. You know, now the pull on this side is a bit less, so we don't have this, you know, nice curve down. And what else? I can also change this final point. That was 800. I can also change this point to be, I don't know, further up, something like 300, maybe. And you see that it goes, you know, quite a bit further up. Right, everything clear about this? So again, it's if you have to make the calculation beforehand and just put in the values here, it's not that easy of a calculation. I'll just show you. Bezier curve, Bezier curve. So this is how it works. This is our first point. This is our final point. These are the control points here, which are pulling inside some direction. So the way it's done, and don't quote me on that because I'm not quite sure, is from here you go to the middle of this line, then you look at some then you look at the angle bisectors, and then this is your pull point, say, on your curve, and depending on how big this thing is, it's gonna pull it slightly up. But you know, if you have to calculate it by hand, just read through all of that, and I guess you will be fine. Here are some nice demos on how you create it, depending on the points that you choose to be your control points. And yeah, just good luck. If you have to do something like this, I would suggest you use either, you know, rectangles, circles, or if you absolutely have to use Bezier curve, then fiddle around with the values. And I'm sure that there are also some tools online that can help you, but I would never go into calculating the precise coordinates of this, of the control points, so that I want to get, so that I get what I want to get. Just fiddle around with values, and you are going to be fine. And the last thing that I want to show is that just drawing text, because you can do that as well. And this text drawing is different from what you can do with CSS and HTML. But again, you know, it's just interesting to show. So context dot line width. I want to change it to 1 because it was originally I set it to 5, somewhere up here. I don't know where. There it is, and it's gonna stay throughout unless I reset it. So here I reset it to 1 so that we can see our text. And let's say context dot fill style equals green, so that we can see it easily. So green. And how do you yeah, let's give it a font. So context dot font equals 80 pixels Consolas or Arial or Times New Roman, whatever font it's loaded, and you can even load fonts through CSS, as we've shown earlier this module. Okay, so how do you actually draw text? So there are two methods. One of them is fill text, which is gonna be with text hello. and give it an X and Y, so a position on the canvas, so 600, 500, so that it's, you know, down and to the right. And let's see what happens here. Actually, not here, but here. There it is. Maybe slightly to the left. So slightly to the left, just make this value smaller. Yeah, there we go. Hello. But we never, but we don't see the stroke, or we don't see any width to our line surrounding it. It's you know, as you can see, no border here at all. So to do that, we have to say context dot. Can you guess now? Stroke text. And I want to say the same thing. So hello and comma 500, comma 500. And now, if everything is fine, we will get our stroke. And I will make it slightly bigger so that we can see it. Alright, something like this. Okay, is it clear how it works? Sort of? Yeah. Okay, this was the easy part, where, you know, there are no animations, just, you know, how to draw something on the canvas. But in fact, right now we'll be making an animation. But first I want to say, well, this is not everything that you can do with canvas. You can also, you know, put images. You can put video as well inside your canvas. You can do transforms and other things as well. So it's not all of that, but, you know, these are the basics that we are going to be using in our next demo, which is going to be just make an animation. And what we would like to do, so I'll just open a new HTML file, call it fire rain. So let me zoom in. What we want to make is circles that are going to be falling down, like many of them, and they are going to look like a fireball, and you know, it's gonna look nice, and they can be destroyed and so on. This happens with a bit more JavaScript, and we'll be using what we know from last lecture as well, so that we can create a single fireball that it's gonna, you know, go down. Just 1 second, let me stop that. Right, so this demo, props to Nate Wiley, and I'll actually give his link from codepen.io. Codepen.io is a really cool website for you know, HTML front-end animations in general and so on. So I would put it here. Props to Nate Wiley, and let me copy the link as well. So Nate Wiley CodePen. So yeah, I took this demo from him, and he's making some really cool animations and stuff using Canvas. You can have a look. Just have a look at one. Yeah. So all of this is done with Canvas, and here you can see varc equals document.get element by ID, Canvas club, and, you know, this is just the canvas, which is somewhere in the HTML right now. And this actually follows my mouse, which is quite cool as well. So a lot of things that you can do with Canvas, a lot of cool animations, and you will have this for homework and for your project for this specific module. So this will be the only thing that you have to spend a little bit time on, and there are lots of demos. Please don't copy paste them, but, you know, just look for some ideas and just see how people are doing things. I'll do a slightly simpler demo than this, because, you know, this is a lot of lines of code, and yeah, but I'll do some which is done by him, and it's a bit easier to follow, so that you can get what the idea is behind making animations with Canvas. So I also wanted to copy this and put it inside here. So hopefully he won't sue us for using his demo, but you never know. All right, but it's freely online, so I doubt that that's gonna happen. But yeah, anyways, thanks. All right, so we want to have a canvas, same as before. So canvas, and here I want to put ID equals the canvas, and width is gonna be 800, height is gonna be 600. And that's pretty much it. So let's do style as well. So style, and I want to select the canvas and say border 1 pixel solid black. And now we are ready to code. So let's say script. Let's do the usual thing. So var. Actually, I want to put all of this in an immediately invoked function expression. So I want to say inside here function and many brackets. So something that we've done from last time. This is gonna execute, straight away. I don't have to call it anywhere. Okay, so inside here, I want to say var canvas equals document dot canvas typo, thank you, canvas equals document dot get element by ID, and this is gonna be the canvas. And after that we want to say var context something stopped. Okay, var context equals canvas dot get context, and say 2D as well. Alright, so we want to have var total items per frame, which is going to be 2. So this is how many fireballs are we going to spawn per frame. So for each frame, and I think that the maximum is 60. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think the maximum is 60. If everything works fine, we'll be creating 2 items per second. Okay, 2 items per frame. So 60 frames a second, 120 maybe. I don't know. I got confused. But anyways, also we want to have our items, which is going to be an empty array. We want to keep track of them so that we can also destroy them, move them around, and so on. And what also do we want to have? Var item index equals 0. Okay, and let's actually create the item, which is going to be our fireball. So it's going to be function item, and now a little bit of object-oriented programming. We want to say this dot x. We want it to spawn at a random position from 0 to the canvas width. So we have the canvas, and we want to spawn our fireballs at a random x around the top left. Around the top border. But first I want to create a simple random method. So function random, and open and close brackets. And what this is going to take is min and max. And I want to return math.random times max minus min, which is going to be my interval, and then I want to say plus min. So math.random, I don't know, have we discussed this in one of the JavaScript lectures? So math.random returns a number between 0 and 1. And what I actually wanna do here is multiply it by the interval, which let's say that min is 0 and max is 100. If I get a number between 0 and 1 and I multiply it by 100, I'll get a number between 0 and 100, which is random. So let's say that we get a random number which is something like 0.56 and then some other numbers after that. If I multiply this by 100, we are going to get that 56 point something, which we are not going to bother with. And to make it really an interval, I have to say plus min. So if it's not starting from 0 to 100, but it's starting from 100 to 200, then this interval is still going to be 100. I am still going to get 56 in my end result here. But since I want it to be in the interval between 100 and 200, I am going to add this minimum value. So what this thing does in simple words, it just gives me a random number between min and max, something like rng.next from min and max in C#. But here, of course, we don't have that kind of luxury. In JavaScript, we just get a random number between 0 and 1, and we have to transform it so that it sort of works. So in here, I would like to say random 0 canvas.width. What else? This.y equals 0. Of course, this is my starting point. This.id equals item index. So this is what we have, which starts from 0. And in the end of this, so every time when I want to create a new item, I would have to increase item index as well. So item index plus. And also I want to say items of item index dot push this, I think. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, we are gonna have a couple of more variables. So this dot radius is gonna be random from 0 to 4. So kind of small fireballs, so that it looks more like rain. And what else do we want to have? So this dot vy, this dot vy equals random 0 to 10. So this is gonna be my velocity in the y direction. So from 0 to 10, which means that it's gonna move down. And depending on how big this number is, it will depend what the speed is of our particle as well. And we also want to have some gravity. So grav equals 0.1. Is there anything else? This dot life equals 0. So life is when would we like to destroy our item, and if life is bigger than some value, let's say 60, then we would like to destroy our item, our fireball. Otherwise, we would like to say life plus. It can be done in many different ways, but I think this one is fine as well. And this dot color, so the way Nate did it was with HSL, which I have no idea, so I'm just gonna copy the colors that he has chosen. So this dot color equals, and inside here HSLA open brackets plus random from 0 to 30 plus comma 100%, 50%, comma 1. So what this is gonna do, and I have to close the bracket probably. So what? Sorry? Not there. I think it's there. Everything fine with the bracket? I think it is. So what this is gonna do, this random is gonna give us orange reddish fireball, and every time when it spawns it's going to be different. We can play around with these values once it's all done, and we can have a look at this. Is there anything else? No. All right, so now we would like this item to have a function. How would we like to draw it? Which is where the context of the canvas comes in hand. So how do I attach functions to a class? Anyone? Last lecture, I think most of you were. How do I attach a method to a class? In this case, since it's JavaScript, prototype. So can you tell me what I have to type in here? Item.prototype. And then the name of the method, which is going to be draw. Okay, now this equals function. And inside here, we want to say this dot y. So this is sort of combined movement and drawing. You will see I will do it a bit differently, but just leave the drawing somewhere else and the movement somewhere else. But let's see how he has done it. So plus equals this dot vy. So we increase the y with our velocity, which is this one. And inside here, what else do I want to see? This dot vy plus equals this dot graph. So this means that our velocity is going to slightly increase as we go down with each frame, which is like what gravity, like how gravity works, pretty much. Okay, and then this dot x plus equals random -1 to 1. So what this is going to do, instead of the particles moving freely down, they're going to sort of fiddle around a bit from plus to -1. This is what that is. We can change the values later, and you'll see which what line does what exactly. Okay, so context. Now comes the drawing and the context. So context dot fill style equals this dot color, and context dot begin path, something now familiar. Context dot move to this dot x, this dot y, and context dot arc this dot x, comma this dot y. So this is my these are the points for the center, and then we want to say this dot radius, and we want to draw a full circle, which is going to be from 0 to math dot pi times 2. Anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter at all, because it's a full circle. Semicolon, and then context dot fill. Okay. Yeah, there shouldn't be any difference if I put false or a true in the end here, because it's a full circle. You know, it's right. So so let's say that I want to draw from 0 to 90. So if I don't give it anything like true or false, it's gonna draw me an arc which is like this thing here, right? If I give it a value of true for anti-clockwise, it's gonna do the same thing but reverse. So something like a Pac-Man. Okay, so now if it's from 0 to 2 pi, it doesn't matter how am I gonna draw it. Whether it's gonna be anti-clockwise or clockwise, I'll see the same thing because it's a full circle, right? Okay, now do you want me to go back to the previous demo? Let's actually do that. So so inside here, where were the arcs? So let's take the second arc, which is, let me run this again. So we are taking this specific arc, okay? Right now I'm not drawing a full circle, but if I delete this and make it a 2 times pi and I press F5, that is fine, okay? From a 0 to 2 pi this way. And if I actually say true here, we'll see the same thing. I'm pressing F5 because it's drawn from here all the way and through here. We just draw it again, the same thing. Is it clear now? Okay, fine. So let me remove that and let's bring it the way it was. So 1.2. All right. So after the fill, there are a couple of other things that we need to do. So this dot live plus plus. Which means that every time when we draw it, we want to increase the life, and after that we would like to delete it once the life gets above some value. So right, so let's say if this dot life is bigger than this dot max life. I don't have a max life. Where did that go? 1 second. I don't have it here, right? So I have to add it. So where is life? There. This dot max life equals, let's say, 50, and we'll go from there. This dot max life, can you find it now for me, please? Max life. Alright, if it is bigger, then we want to say delete items this dot id. So we just go into the items, and we have the ID, which is in my array, and then we just delete this item. All right, that's pretty much it. And now what's left is to create the animation. I would like to go through this code once more after we are done. And I would like to extract this logic and this logic in a separate method, but I'm gonna call them one after the other anyways, because the drawing is this part, and anything else here is more like if you're making a game, this would be like in the update method and not in the draw method. So function animate, and what is it that we want to do? So context.fillStyle equals RGBA 000, and here 0.08. So this is black with some alpha. Then we have context.fillRect 00 canvas.width canvas.height. So we want to make a background which is just black. Canvas.height. And after that, what is it that we want to do? We want to create new items depending on in each frame, or that this whole thing is going to be executed. We would like to create this many items per frame. So let's make a for loop. So for var e equals 0, var I equals 0, I less than how did we call it? Total items per frame. Total items per frame I plus plus. What is wrong with you? How do I remove this? Okay. And what we want to say is just say new item, which is going to create it for us. That's going to be it. And then we also want to draw all of them. So for var I in items, we want to say items of I dot draw. And anything else? So if I run it right now, probably nothing is going to happen. Let me actually try. Alright, you see nothing happens, and there could be a problem with something that I've written, or it could just be that we're not using this function anywhere. And now what we have to do is simply say animate here, and one more thing, which is just going to create the animation for us. So F5, nope. So what is going to create the animation, and I really hope that this is going to work, is window.request animation frame, and we just want to put in here animate, the function that we would like to keep, drawing and doing all of the work. So let's give it a go now. Nope. Which means that there is something that I have to fix, and this is going to happen in just a bit. So the problem was that this thing here was items of item index dot push this, and I could have done it probably this way without the index, but then I would be losing it. So the correct way to do it is items of item index equals this, and what we get is the following. just like a rain. And you see how it fiddles around here. Okay, so actually right now let's just play a bit with some of the values, shall we? So what's gonna happen? So first, and let's start from the top. So what's gonna happen here if I say something like, what is gonna happen if I just say 1? They're a bit less, not very noticeable, I would say, but still you can see it. Let's play with some huge numbers, so like 100. It doesn't run very smoothly now, but it still creates them. And it's gonna get worse and worse, and probably my computer is gonna explode any second now. So let's change this to something more reasonable, like a 10. It still lags, but you know, a bit better. Let's leave it at 2, I think, or maybe like a 3, so that they were a bit more, but it still doesn't lag that much. It depends on the PC as well. So let me close all of these and press F5, and it's a bit smoother, but not that much. Okay, now it's smooth. So it needs some time to load everything properly. So now this is smooth. Can you see it smooth enough? Okay. Right. What else can we play around with? So from 0 to canvas.width, well, if you just change that to something like 300, they should be spawned just in the left, and we can make a different, you know, from the other side in a different color. If you want to, so let's leave this as canvas.width. Y starts with 0. If I change that, you know, what's gonna happen there? They are gonna just start from below. If we increase the radius to, let's say, 20, we should be getting some big fireballs. Looks slightly better, I think. Or a bit more interesting. So something like a 10 would probably be in the middle, where we have both, you know, really big ones and relatively small ones. Let's put something even smaller, something like a 6. That looks better, I think. Okay, so Vy is random from 0 to 10. And if we increase that, we are gonna get some really fast ones and some really small ones. Sorry, some really fast and some really slow ones. But this is too fast for me to follow, at least. So let's do that with 10. Gravity, if we increase the gravity here to 1 is gonna be really big, but you see how they start to drop once a couple of frames have passed. So to put this, maybe 0.2 is gonna look slightly better. Yeah, so now they get a little bit faster by the end. What else? Life 0, which is fine. Max life is something that I want to change. How about if we say, you know, 20? See how they stop here? How about if we say random between 2 values? So random between 0 and maybe 60. No, there are some that die right up here, which is still, I think, fine. Maybe 20 if you want to. So 20, and then here maybe something like a 50, so that they sort of drop somewhere around here. Yeah. All right. What else can we? So we can change the color as well, but I haven't worked with this way of defining colors, so I don't know which values to change to what. Honestly, I don't know. Anyone who has experience with this? I would leave it. So this one was 100, and so this one was 100. This one was 50. And all right. So maybe we have to change this one. How about from 100 to 200? Shiny. Do you like this, or should I leave it as it was with the reddish stuff? This is okay. Okay, so if you want to make them fiddle around a bit more, so you see how they go, you know, left and right. Actually, this is going to become more apparent if we just have, you know, 1 per frame. Yeah, you see how they fiddle around left and right. We can change this with this value here from -1 to 1. So let's go crazy here. This looks quite cool, I think. So what happens if I put even more? Still quite interesting. It doesn't look like rain anymore, but you know the logic is the same. Right, so fill style is this color, begin path, this life, and so on, animate. So the main thing that you should remember is this is what makes your animation. This is what gonna keeps calling this function animate, so that you know your animation is gonna keep drawing and so on. And in fact, if I wanna stop this, I can just say, well, if I don't know, when would I want to stop it? If I click space, well, this is going to be I have to create another function which is space and keys. I really don't know how to do that. Something with life or something with items. So if items dot length equals or is less than or equal to 50, only then I would like to animate, which is going to be relatively quick. And it stopped. So you can choose when to stop your animation with this specific line of code. This is what makes your animation, and of course you have to call it at least once down here so that it starts, you know, executing over and over. Or do you? Let me check. Yeah, you have to call it at least once. Can we just make it instantly executed? So I have to wrap this in brackets. I guess not. It's interesting why, but no, still not gonna work. I don't know why. To be honest, it should be able to do that. Maybe it has to do something with name. I don't know. Yeah, if I just do it this way, yeah, I think it has to do something with the name. So all of the immediately invoked functions that we did, I think, were without a name, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't work this way. All right. So yeah, I said that I want to change this because it's just bugging me. So item.prototype.update equals function. What happened? And inside here, I want to copy this. I want to copy this. And now the draw method is going to do precisely what it has to do. And inside here, when I say items of i.draw, I also want to say items of i.update. And that should work as well. What is happening? Yeah, maybe. This.live item.prototype. Let me try to fix this and now bring the video back up. Yeah, so someone from the audience pointed out that first I was updating them, so this line of code was here. So when updating them, I actually delete them in this update method, and I probably get an exception here. So like F12, and yeah, so we cannot read property draw of undefined because I've already deleted it. And a simple fix was just just this line to go down here, and now everything works fine as it should. Okay, yeah, so this is how you make animations. Any questions about this demo? In general, it was relatively simple when you see that you can make some really cool things with Canvas. If you spend enough time on CodePen.io, you will get some really cool demos. There was even the Matrix one, I think. So let me CodePen.io. There are some really in general. This is a really cool website for HTML front end, Canvas, and so on. So Canvas Matrix. Yeah, actually a lot of examples. There was another one with Chinese symbols, which looked really cool as well. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Something like this, maybe? No, those are not Chinese symbols. But yeah, there are some really cool demos in this website, and in general, if you wanna search for something, how it's done, and so on. So to make our 3D cubes, we looked from here: 3D cube, rotate, CSS, and there are some really cool examples here with 3D. So cube, rotate, CSS, maybe. Okay, cube CSS, please. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, but this is with pure CSS, as you can see. There is no Canvas or JavaScript, but I'm sure that you can do something similar to this with Canvas, but you have to use WebGL because it's 3D. But as you can see, it's not that much. It's about 100 lines of code, and out of all these, there are many new lines and so on. But yeah, just if you need something, this is a good website to know. Right. Okay, that was pretty much it for the lecture. We show the animations. So homework. This is the one that you have to make to pass on to the next course. So you will be able to practice with object-oriented programming in JavaScript, HTML, a bit CSS, and yeah, I think it's a good homework to give. So make a simple animation of your choice, and it can be anything you want. You can also look through some examples, but not copy them one-to-one, because I'll be looking for things like quality code, how you name your variables, and many of the demos inside CodePen.io have names which are just a single character and so on. I'll fairly quickly be able to spot if you've copied something one-to-one. But yeah, so this is your homework. It's due on Friday next week when the course is gonna end. And yeah, that'll be it. So on Monday we'll be making a simple game with Canvas and a simple framework for something like loading sprites and so on. It's easier to use a built-in framework for that. So yeah, it's gonna be simple game that it's like a Flappy Bird, but not quite, with a shark that eats fishes. And yeah, that's pretty much that. References and any questions do you have about the course, the homework, the deadline? So an animation like this can be done quickly in about 2-3 hours. If you want to get really fancy, it's not going to take more than a day. Okay, that's it. See you on Monday.